Today, tragedy on the T-Way. Two teenagers riding a dirt bike die after colliding with a bus in Sydney's west. Fill up your tanks with E10, the call from the NRMA as the states ask the Albanese government to take more leadership in the national petrol crisis. New vision of the moment an Air Canada plane crashes into a fire truck in New York City. Plus, new e-bike restrictions for under 16s in Queensland, why parents could be held responsible. 30,000 teachers in Victoria to walk off the job this morning, calling for a pay rise. And the Sydney man who's gone viral for going head-to-head with a train.
From 9 News, this is Today.
Good morning and welcome to Today Early News. We will begin in Western Sydney, where two teenagers riding a trail bike have died after crashing into a bus. The tragedy unfolding at Bosley Park just after 10 o'clock last night. Officers giving the pair CPR, but they could not be saved. Nine's Madison Scott was there.
A truly horrific scene here in Bosley Park in Sydney's west. The two teens were riding on a dirt bike along this transitway when they collided with a bus. Both the rider and his passenger were pinned underneath the vehicle. Passerbys rushed to help emergency services pull them out and begin CPR. Sadly, both boys, aged 16 and 15, died at the scene. They were both wearing helmets, but obviously their injuries from the impact were too great. This all unfolded around 7:15 last night. The bus driver, a 48-year-old male, has been taken to hospital where he'll undergo mandatory drug and alcohol testing. No doubt an incredibly traumatic evening for both the driver and the bus passengers on board at the time, as well as the families involved. It's understood both boys are local to the area. A full police investigation is now underway.
State governments are urging the Prime Minister to step in and coordinate a national response to the fuel crisis, warning a patchwork approach could create confusion. Live to Connor McGovern at Parliament House. Connor, Anthony Albanese was at a dinner last night. What was he told?
Good morning, Jane. Well, take the three biggest energy shocks in modern history, put them together, and that still isn't as bad as what we're seeing right now. It was a pretty grim warning from the boss of the influential International Energy Agency. He was at that dinner last night and told the Prime Minister as much. In response, Anthony Albanese gave his most pessimistic remarks to date in response to this war. Anthony Albanese saying the economic aftershocks of this conflict, they're going to be felt long after this war ends. So to best prepare ourselves, the states, they're all coming together and urging the PM to lead a national coordinated response. That's an exclusive from our friends at the Sydney Morning Herald. So that we can best avoid the same piecemeal and almost patchy approach which led to so much confusion and anxiety during the COVID era. Now, Carl said yesterday that diesel would hit $4 a litre. The NRMA has now come out and backed that up, also urging Aussies to fill up with E10.
I don't want to think about what it would take to get to $4 a litre. Our economy runs on diesel, and so therefore we are also going to see the effects inevitably in the supermarket aisles and pretty much everywhere else.
Now, Jane, I've got some fresh figures from Parliament that have come out yesterday. 37 service stations in New South Wales have run dry, 47 in Queensland, while down in Victoria, 109 service stations are without at least one type of petrol. So that is getting tough in some areas.
Yeah, really worrying time, Connor. Thank you. Donald Trump has postponed his threat of American attacks on Iran. The US president this morning claiming the country is in very strong talks towards resolving the conflict. Live to Washington correspondent Lauren Tomasi. Lauren, the thing is, Tehran is denying any negotiation is underway.
Jayne, Iranian officials have absolutely rubbished these claims and are saying that Donald Trump is backing down. In fact, the Speaker of Iran's parliament has labelled these talks as fake news that they say Donald Trump has put in place in order to manipulate the financial and oil markets. This is just standing at odds with what we have heard from Donald Trump this morning. He is saying that these are very strong talks taking place, and He's also gone on to say that at least 15 points have been agreed upon between the United States and Iran, and these talks are all about having a complete and total resolution to the conflict in Iran. It's the first real optimism that we have heard from Donald Trump throughout this conflict, which is now in its fourth week. And the US president says a meeting between the US and Iran will be happening very soon.
We'll at some point very, very soon meet. We're doing a 5-day period. We'll see how that goes. And if it goes well, we're going to end up with settling this. Otherwise, we'll just keep bombing our little hearts out.
The thing is, this morning there is just so much contradicting of both sides. A lot of he said from Iran and the United States. So a lot of questions lingering about what happens next when it comes to this war, Jane.
Yeah, the world on edge, Lauren. Thank you. 2 pilots have died and dozens of people have been injured in a shocking collision between a plane and a fire truck on an airport runway in New York City. The airport remains closed this morning as investigators unpack how this incident unfolded.
Touchdown turning to tragedy in seconds.
Oh, God.
The Air Canada plane travelling at speed when a fire truck crossed into its path. The light of day revealing the extent of the damage from the impact. 2 pilots killed, the cockpit a crumpled wreck. The fire truck mangled and on its side. 72 passengers and 4 crew were on board the flight that landed at LaGuardia Airport, hitting a vehicle with 2 officers inside.
Initial numbers indicate that 41 passengers and crew were transported to the hospital, as well as the ARF officers.
Some seriously injured in the tragedy captured on air traffic control audio.
Stop truck 1, stop. Stop truck 1, stop.
The vehicle was responding to another aircraft operated by United that had reported an issue with odor.
Travellers at one of New York City's main airports left stranded for hours as investigators, not planes, positioned on the runway.
They made a mistake. It's a dangerous business. That's terrible.
Queensland will move to ban e-bikes and e-scooters for under 16s with new legislation to be introduced this week. It is one of 27 recommendations from the state's e-mobility inquiry. The report says police should have new powers to seize illegal devices after one offence and allow officers to pursue the parents of children who break the law. Teachers in Victoria will walk off the job today in the fight for better pay and conditions. Up to 10,000 workers will march to State Parliament at 10:30 after the Education Union rejected a 17% pay rise over 3 years, instead calling for more than double that over 3 years. It will be their first statewide strike in more than a decade. Aviation and tourism leaders are pushing to scrap paper declaration forms for travellers arriving to Australia, warning the country could lose visitors if airport processing isn't sped up. The Daily Telegraph revealing new technology is ready to replace the forms, but needs government approval and funding in the May budget. Well, we all know the panic of sprinting for a train, but how about trying to outrun one? A Sydney man is going viral after setting himself the challenge of jumping off a train and racing through the city, all for the glory of beating it to the next stop and hopping back on.
Trying to outrun the train from Wynyard to Town Hall, and will do it. Do you think my mate can beat the train from Wynyard to Town Hall?
No.
Running.
No.
No. Driving at Town Hall Station, is he going to?
Wow, that is impressive. He made it just in time, powering through the 1.1 kilometre sprint in just 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Well done. We'll let him breathe. Let's get today's hot sports stories now. From winless this time last year to flying high in 2026, the Dolphins have turned their fortunes around by winning 2 of their opening 3 games and building serious momentum. On Friday, they faced their biggest test yet against the reigning premiers, the Broncos, in what's shaping up to be a fiery battle for Brisbane.
It's nice to have them early in the year. Good to play mates, of course. and it's always good to play another Queensland club, especially when they're down the road. There's obviously a bit of a rivalry there, and we're not going to shy away from this being a big game early in the season, but we're really excited for that opportunity.
There is a boost for the Dolphins with Tom Flegler set to return from a rib injury, but his Broncos counterpart Payne Haas is in doubt with a shoulder concern. Only 2 rounds into the season, Essendon captain Andrew McGrath has already seen enough, calling a player-only meeting to address mounting frustrations. The move came in the wake of a 63-point loss to Port Adelaide, but club legend Matthew Lloyd says talk is cheap unless the Bombers confront the root of their issues.
He spoke about let's dig in and fight, but because their pressure is the worst in the competition, so he might say, guys, why are we the worst pressure side in the comp? And they might be able to say, hey, we're confused in certain areas, which is probably taking away our confidence. So I think that it's not a surprise. It's not the first time, won't be the last time it's happened, but it's just that it's come at round 2.
Essendon now sit at the bottom of the ladder, slumping to a worrying 15th straight defeat. Let's take a look at the weather across the country now. Brisbane, a shower or 2, a top of 29 degrees. Rain in Sydney as well, reaching 27 in Canberra as well. Grey skies and 29 for Melbourne today, 18 degrees the top in Hobart. Mostly sunny for Adelaide, a top of 31 degrees. Perth, clear skies reaching 30 and 31 degrees in Darwin. Straight ahead on Today Early News, 4 ambulances torched in an anti-Semitic attack. We are live to the scene in London. Plus, a police dog takes down an alleged thief in Melbourne. And the creepy robot takeover at a McDonald's in China. Why this could be the new norm. Right across Australia, this is Today Early News on 9. And when you go, we're streaming on 9 Now. Welcome back. We're going to take you straight to some breaking news overseas now. A Colombian Air Force plane has crashed in the south of the country near the border with Peru. It is believed up to 110 soldiers were on board the Hercules aircraft, which was transporting troops. Military and emergency crews are on the scene, but the number of casualties is not yet known. An arson attack on 4 ambulances in a Jewish community in North London is being treated as an anti-Semitic hate crime. Live to Mimi Becker, who's at the scene for us. Mimi, the Prime Minister has said it is deeply shocking.
Good morning to you, Jane. Yes, there's been widespread condemnation of these anti-Semitic attacks, and the people here in the Jewish community say they're now angry, and for many they've been left fearful. CCTV shows 3 people wearing hoods, putting accelerant and lighting the 4 community ambulances on fire that were parked near the local synagogue. While counter-terrorism police are investigating the crime, at this stage it isn't being treated as a terror incident. Dozens of people were forced to evacuate from their homes with several explosions, but luckily no one was injured. As you say, so Keir Starmer very condemning of this attack.
Anti-Semitism has no place in our society, and it's really important that we all stand together at a moment like this.
Now, an Iranian-linked online group has claimed responsibility for this attack, and that is forming part of the police investigation. At this stage, Jane, no arrests have been made.
OK, Mimi Becker live in North London. Thank you. We have some more breaking news now. 3 men have been charged after a violent brawl in Western Sydney. 2 men were stabbed after a group of 20 people armed with knives and batons turned up at a Maryland's home, allegedly part of an ongoing family conflict. They will face court today. A man has been found dead at a home north of Brisbane. Paramedics were called to a property in Strathpine yesterday afternoon, but they were unable to save the 36-year-old. They say that while the man had minor injuries, they are not believed to have caused his death.
We don't have an understanding about what caused this death, and we are currently making those investigations to try and establish what has occurred and what led to this death.
Police are now treating the death as suspicious. An alleged car thief has been given a painful lesson as he was taken down by a police dog while trying to run from officers in Melbourne. Jack Ward reports.
A young man remains in hospital with a nasty injury after police tracked down the group in Melbourne's south-east. This is the moment the teenage boy is caught, taken to the ground by a police dog who was let off his leash before officers swooped. 2 other boys, aged 16 and 17, were arrested nearby. Police allege it all began just before 2 a.m. with a home invasion in Ashwood. The trio seen lingering outside homes before they're accused of forcing their way inside as a couple hid in their bedroom. An Audi was stolen from the driveway, then spotted by police. They say it was clocked travelling up to 190 kilometres an hour on the Monash freeway until it lost a wheel. The suspects running down streets and hiding under trampolines, but their time was up.
If you're going to do things like that, then I don't really have any. For people who do the wrong thing, that's your choice in life, really. So, fair game.
I think it's probably the only punishment he's going to get. The police try, but, you know, they're bashing their heads against a brick wall.
2 of the 3 men have now been charged. Investigators are now looking into whether anyone else was involved in the break-in.
Sydney's struggling nightlife is set for a boost, with the City of Sydney backing a plan for 24-hour live entertainment across the CBD. It is now in the hands of the state government and, if approved, would see bars, restaurants and retailers able to open at all hours of the night. The move would help support up to 5,000 local businesses. Significant work is needed to make Rockhampton's Fitzroy River fit for the 2032 Olympics. A feasibility study found the river needs to be widened and dredged to make sure all rowers can fit and compete. The Independent Games Authority did not reveal how much that would cost, but says it is achievable. Well, sometimes when you go to McDonald's, you can be a bit shocked by the state of the food that's given to you. This time, it was the object behind the counter. A humanoid robot taking orders at a Macca's in Shanghai as part of a test. The AI-powered robot is dressed in the signature red uniform, serving meals while greeting and interacting with customers. There's no official word yet from Macca's on whether rolling out robot servers is part of their future plans. But we wonder, will they still ask, would you like fries with that? Let's take a look at the markets now. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones is up 841 points. The S&P 500 also higher. At home, the All Ords closed down 75 yesterday, while in London, the FTSE was also down. Commodities and gold is at $4,463 an ounce. Silver at 70, and oil is at $111 a barrel. Coming up on Today Early News, Storm coach Craig Bellamy delivers a heartbreaking update on Ellie Katoa's recovery from a serious brain injury. Plus, Port Adelaide's fears confirmed as scans reveal the severity of Connor Rosie's hamstring injury. And meet Merlin and the magical reason why he's achieved a Guinness World Record. Welcome back to Today Early News. Our top stories this Tuesday. 2 teenage trail bike riders have died after a crash with a bus in Sydney's west last night. LaGuardia Airport in New York City remains closed this morning as investigations continue into a shocking crash between a plane and a fire truck which killed 2 pilots. And the federal government is under pressure from state leaders to provide a more national approach to the petrol crisis. Let's check sport now, and Storm coach Craig Bellamy has made a heartbreaking admission that Ellie Katoa may never play rugby league again. The star forward required emergency brain surgery after a series of heavy head knocks while representing Tonga during the Pacific Championships. Katoa remains a valued presence at Melbourne, mentoring younger players, with Bellamy hopeful that he may one day be cleared to safely return. We wish him well. Port Adelaide will be without captain Connor Rosie for most of the season after scans confirmed a ruptured hamstring tendon. The brutal injury occurred in the third quarter of the Power's 63-point win over Essendon on Sunday.
He's done a pretty good job of that hamstring. He's torn the ligaments off the bone, so he'll go in for surgery this week, get it repaired, and probably looking at a timeline, I guess, of 12 to 15 weeks.
In another blow, Miles Bergman is set to miss at least a week with an ankle sprain and heel bruising. Australian rugby great Michael Hooper says the Waratahs are showing signs of cracking under pressure, making rushed plays in the hunt for points. He pointed to at least 3 moments in their 35-20 loss to the Blues where patience with the ball would have served them better.
You're under pressure, you want it to happen so bad, but how that displays itself is just pushing things that might not be on because you need it straight away. So it's a tough place for the Waratahs to be, but still, even so, they get out to 20-8 at one point.
The Waratahs have now lost 3 straight games and sit 7th on the ladder. Sebastian Korda has pulled off the biggest win of his career, stunning world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz in the 3rd round of the Miami Open. Korda looked to have blown his chance when he failed to serve out the 2nd set, but kept his composure to claim a thrilling 6-3, 5-7, 6-4 victory. Meanwhile, Australia's Talia Gibson faced a monumental challenge today against world number 2, Elena Rybakina. Stay with us coming up. They say pigs can fly, but Merlin can do much more than that. That story next. And then it is time for Today. But first, your local weather forecast. This is Today Early News, live on 9 and 9 Now. Welcome back. Before we get the weather, take a look at this magic. Merlin the pig has gone viral on social media for his unusual ability to talk to his owners. Yeah, that's right. The 82-kilogram animal uses multicoloured buttons to communicate anything from good morning to vegetables, please. Take a look.
You want fruit or a vegetable?
Fruit, please.
Okay.
Mommy, I love you.
I love you.
Okay. The feat has amassed him 1.1 million followers on Instagram, earning him a Guinness World Record. Let's take a look at today's weather around the country. Brisbane, a shower or two, 29 degrees. Rain in Sydney, 27. 27 in Canberra. Grey skies and 29.